refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm ready to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm ready to win. Yeah. Refuse.
I don't even know if I like that the live one, but it's okay, but it's not for me. But welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another great episode of FFC. See, I like the regular cheers. This is not loud enough like the live crowd. Live crowd is pretty loud, right? There's a cheering. It's all the way through. All the way through. All right, so welcome back to another great episode of FFC. I am your host, Coach. I do apologize. Coach has been out for about a week and a half. Last week was Thanksgiving. I thought I put something out that I was going to be out for Thanksgiving. I do apologize for that. But yes, Coach was out for Thanksgiving week for the break, and then I came back and I was sick. So that kind of sucked. I wasn't able to go live yesterday, but we are pushing through it, and we are here today because we just can't go 2 whole weeks without Coach's information from FFC. That's just that can't happen. So we are here for you guys no matter what. You understand? Coach is always here. Okay. But remember, if Coach is not live, Coach is always in other aspects of being reachable. Again, I have my handles. Let me do this to you guys real quick before we jump into anything. Oh, there you go. So if you need to reach Coach at any time outside of FFC, these are my handles where you can reach me and send me shoot me a quick message. And Coach does respond to messages. You can also catch me on on Twitch, where I do some gaming. And you can also Coach catch there if you need to ask questions like Niori, my man Niori did last night when I got on for a couple hours. And we, discussed the fact that he is now 7-6. We need one more win so we can make it to the playoffs. I'm very proud of him. He really, really worked on his roster with Coach all year long. You guys have been here to watch it live, actually. So this man went from, I think he was 0-3, I think, at one point. And now 7-6, okay? He didn't waver. He didn't wither away. The man fought with every fight, got rid of players he needed to get rid of, kept the ones he wanted, even on one like Nico Collins over Emeka. That was a big pick to keep to let Emeka go for 2 other players and keep Nico Collins. As we can see, not that Emeka's bad, but the Bucs are declining in a sense. They're going through a rough patch right now. Even though they did win their last game. But it's not as explosive as it was the first 8 weeks. Things changed in the back half of the season. So he made a right trade in that aspect to keep Nico Collins, who's kind of been the only he's been the only point the Texans have, You would think that Woody Marshall is going to stay. I mean, he's a rookie, so he's behind Nick Chubb. He's getting his touches, but it's been Nico Collins, the saving grace of the Houston Texans this whole time, and their number 1 defense, obviously. So he is well on his way to one more game, one more win, and we can call ourselves playoff contenders. So good luck to all of those who are actually in the playoffs, and good luck to those who are fighting, I want to say this week, to get into the playoffs. This would be the game you would need, I believe. I think some leagues have one more week. but I believe all leagues, normal leagues, end this week. This will be the last week because then the week 14, 15, 16 is playoffs and championship, I believe. In most leagues. So we are here today to get you guys ready to get into the playoffs. We're here to get you guys ready if you're in the playoffs to win a game next week. And some people have they win the game and so some playoff games are you win and you move on. Some are you have to win 2 weeks in a row. So some people's playoffs started, I think, last week. So this would be the second week of the first round or the semi-round. I think it was whatever it's called, the first entrance round, because you have to play 2 games each round to win. Because basically at the end of the 2 weeks, when you play the person twice, you're gonna have you should have over 200 some points if you're the winner. So they basically stack the points from last week onto this week. So that is for some leagues. Some leagues it's you win, you move on to the next round. So it all depends on what kind of league you're in. I would say if you're in a league that has to play 2 games in the playoffs, don't change your I wouldn't change much in the starting lineup. If you won with that lineup, it's most likely the same lineup, maybe minus 1 or 2 players that you're pretty much going to go with. So don't go in reconstruction the whole roster just because you won this week and you're scared of how to. No, just keep the same. You won with them boys. It's playoffs. When you lose, you're out anyway. If he scores more points out of you, you're out anyway. So you just got to make sure when it comes to playoffs, players are going to start getting real slim. For instance, let's look at it this way. Travion Henderson should have had a lot of touches in that Patriots game on Monday night, right? And if you looked at his workload, he did more, but he shared the rock with Ramondre. Why? Because between this time of the season, Mike Weber has to worry about one thing: having good running backs going into the playoffs. So what that means is from now to the end of the season, if you have Travion Martin or Travion Henderson, you might want to look at putting him in as a flex player because he's going to be sharing the rock the rest of the way. So the dynamic of who the number 1 is didn't change. However, the share value of touches is going to change because this coach is going into the playoffs with 2 good running backs that need touches. So for fantasy purposes, this actually does hurt Travion's numbers because, again, if he was the focal point of Monday night's game, instead of having 11 points, he could have had 17 to 20. Even could have scored. The fact that he's sharing the rock, they're just both. He had 11 touches for 82 yards or something like that. And who was it? Ramondre had 50 yards. Whoever touched he had 50 yards. They both caught 3 passes, and they both ended up with 11 points. The only thing that didn't separate them is nobody scored, or the fact that nobody was the actual lead focal point of the football game. So going into the next few weeks, really look at your players and who you want to start, and look at the team dynamic. If the team sucks, they're going to change a lot. Meaning, a lot of those starters, they're going to be sharing playing time with other people, receivers, quarterbacks. Because new people got to come in. Some people, if the season is lost, it's like, well, let's see what we're gonna come in with next year. So let's take some of these players out, get some of these guys in, and see how they can finish off the season. So some of your players that's been getting on this PT might get cut. You got to pay attention. Look at that. Look within the organization. Look on your team. Look at the reports to see who's practicing. See who is look to see who is getting more first team reps. You can find that out. They have sites out there that can think. They do have sites out there that because it's a site that is basically reporters that go to the practices. Basically, that's how all the people get all this information from people who are at the practices, watching the practices, studying the practices, understanding that this guy's coming in getting more touches with the number 1. No, that's not like hidden information. That's just information we all don't choose to go out and look at prior to these games. You guys got to go look at that kind of information. It's out there. So going into fantasy for the next few weeks, right? We got to be looking at the waiver wire hard, right? Here's what I mean. Look at the waiver wire and see whose numbers spiked up. Like somebody who's normally like at 5.9 for points or 7.2 points a game. Go look at those guys and see if those numbers are jumping up in double digits. Why? They're sharing the ball. They're getting more touches basically on that team. And look at that team. For instance, the Cardinals. Look at some of those younger players that haven't been playing all season, and watch them get some touches in these last few games. Okay, it's just the way the NFL works. This is why I was telling people before the break: make sure you pay attention to the players you have going into these last few weeks, because the dynamic of the NFL is going to change, and what that is going to do is going to affect how players get points in fantasy, okay? Meaning, we could be looking at some low-scoring fantasy football games. A couple of high, like, you could be projected, like Nuri said, he's projected for 145, and that's all fine. The other guy's projected for 105. Here's the funny thing. The 105 has more of the real stats. Only thing Nuri needs to worry about is not scoring under 110. Will he hit the 145? I personally don't think so, because of the dynamic of the NFL and where they're going now with players. Meaning, it's towards the end of the season. We need to get into the playoffs. Other teams, we need to figure out who's staying on this team and who's going, because we're already out. We got to figure out things before before free agency. You know what I mean? So they're already thinking ahead in that aspect. So what that means is you're going to see changes. Like, for instance, if you were Ahmad St. Brown fan or owner, one, you got hit twice. One, when Dan Campbell came out and said he's changing the playbook, what that meant was we need to go more towards Williams, right? Then he turns around, Amara gets hurt. So now that fantasy owner is completely out on the receiver. See, the dynamic is changing between these weeks going into the last weeks, because this is crunch time. For instance, a lot of these 6-5 teams, they're not going to be focused on. They're going to just focus on the win. That's it. They're not focused on stats. They're not padding stats. You won't even see much garbage time when it comes to the NFL around this time of the year. This time of the year, it's win or go home, make or break. It's different. So you got to treat your fantasy roster that same way. All right. We cannot expect the same type of numbers we were getting from even weeks 8 through now, right? The numbers kind of spiked a bit. Just understand those numbers are going to drop. A receiver who normally was getting 7 to 9, he's probably going to get 4 to 5, because that ball is going to get spread around. More receivers are going to get touches. You're going to hear people's name in the end zone that ain't on nobody's roster, because why? These teams have got to get these other players ready, especially if they're going into the playoffs, okay? So just pay attention. If you're in the playoffs, one game going into the playoffs, pay attention to how the dynamic is looking in NFL, so that it can help you with your roster. We'll look at that today when we set our lineup. Why you on water so far? All right, so let us jump into the games for the week and see what we're looking at. We got week 13 football. All right, so we are starting off. Well, I like it. It's a Thursday night game. Cowboys, Lions. Guess what I said? Told you these Detroit Lions were a fluke. And I'm going to put my thumbprint on that. I don't think they're a bad team. I think they're a fluky team. I don't think they should. Well, no, they have the record right now I expected them to have. I told you guys they were only winning 9 or 8 games this year. They were not going to have 10, 12 games. Wasn't going to happen. I actually like with the Cowboys and what they're 6-5. At one point, they were 3-5, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, at one point, I think they were 3-5, 3-5-1. Now they're 6-5-1. I gotta read that. I can't do that. Ties. Anyway, Cowboys have a big hill to climb in this NFC. And the first part of that is going to be the Detroit Lions on Monday Night Football. Guess who owns Monday Night Football, by the way? So, as I can sit here emphatically and state the Cowboys suck in week 1, Cowboys ain't too bad on Monday night. Matter of fact, I could be wrong. Hey, look, I don't come on here to like forcefully be right. I'm telling you guys, I use this. Okay, I've been alive 41 years. Okay, and I watched a lot of football. Watched a lot of Monday Night Football. I've watched a lot of replays of football from the past. Okay, it's not that I know a lot. I've experienced a lot. I've seen it. Okay, and it hasn't gone anywhere. It's locked in here. That's what the brain is for, to be used for memory, for past things to see. Like, wow, can't believe that happened. Can't believe that Hail Mary was something that actually happened in college football. I'm not saying I was there for it, but to know and just be like, wow, that really happened. I was alive in the era of the Hail Mary. I was alive in the era when they took a trophy called the Heisman and they made a song out of it called Do the Heisman on there. I ain't gonna finish the word, but that, I was alive for that experience. So when I tell you the Detroit Lions are not gonna win the games everybody says they're gonna win, it's not because I'm hating on the Lions. It's because I've watched a lot of football and I have watched the Detroit Lions get to a peak every year, especially with golf, and fall. They haven't progressed. Like, nothing of what they have done has led them to an NFC championship game. You only have a small window with the team you have and the money you spent to get to said game. They haven't done it under him. I told you all when he got paid 2 years ago, I think it was, or last year, whichever one it was. I told y'all that the money wasn't worth what you paid for golf. You weren't going to get what you expected for that kind of money out of golf. And it wasn't going to lead to a championship game with golf. And here we are, golf with the money. Here we are, golf gets the playoffs. Here we are, golf gets put out the playoffs. No NFC championship in sight. Nobody is touching the Rams. Rams took a loss. Okay, they took a loss. It's fine. That does nothing to them. It hurts them in no way, form, or fashion. They're still in the playoffs. I never had the Rams as number 1 seed. I had the Rams in the NFC championship game. You don't need to be the number 1 seed to do that. And with the amount of interceptions that he threw in that game, for me personally, I love it. You want to know why? I hope it takes him out of MVP talk status. Why? MVPs don't win Super Bowls. I want Matthew Stafford to win a Super Bowl. I don't want him with the MVP. Give that somebody else. You understand? So that deserves it. Does he deserve it? Of course. He's playing lights out, but I want more for him. I don't want the curse of the MVP on him because then he won't win a Super Bowl. We're not Patrick Mahomes. He got to do it all. We're not letting it happen again. So what I need is for the Dallas Cowboys to come into Monday Night Football, which they will, because why? Oh, the Dallas Cowboys are 51-38 all time for games played on Monday Night Football. Here's the kicker. I always keep telling y'all the Cowboys are not good at home, right? I don't know why, but there are teams that are just like that. The Cowboys are 22-20 at home. But wait, we're playing in Detroit. Yeah. And as it states here, the Dallas Cowboys 29-18 on the road. The Cowboys, all time in NFL history, are 29-18 on the road on Monday Night Football. Yeah, give me the Cowboys, please. Give me the Cowboys. Detroit is going to fall to 7-6. Okay. Again, they're not winning more than 8 games. It's just not going to happen, guys. I'm so sorry. If you're a Lions fan, this does nothing for J-Mo, but he's going to catch his balls. But for winnings, if you're a fan and you thought the Detroit Lions were going to do something in the playoffs, no, it's not going to happen. They're not going to make it into the playoffs. They will fall to 8-9, and I don't think it'll progress anywhere after that, even next year. I think once they get another quarterback, things will look on the up. I'm not blaming Goff as a quarterback, but with the amount of money spent on Goff, it was a waste. You're not winning the championship with Jared Goff with all that money he has, and then you can't do anything with all that money he has because you salary cap stuff, all that. It's a whole mess when it comes to money, right? So we're not looking at the overpaidness of Goff. We're just looking at the fact that he's a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong. This isn't to diminish Goff in any way, fashion, or form. But when you invest in somebody like Goff, it does not lead much to overall success, because overall success is Super Bowl. You're not going to get that overall success because Jared Goff, without an offensive line, is the weakest quarterback in the NFL. Jared Goff, scared behind the line of scrimmage, is an inaccurate quarterback. Okay, like it is bad when he does not have poise and does not have the pocket the way he wants it. So when you invest in something like that, you're investing more so the highlights of what he can do and not understanding what he cannot do is actually more effective on his career than what he can do. Nobody's paying attention to that. And if they are, then they're just overlooking it because of what he can do. And what he can do is throw for 44,000 yards. He can do that, 4,200 yards. What he can do is throw for 38 touchdowns. But what he can do, well, maybe he hadn't thrown that many. Maybe that part is clean. One, two, three, four. Yeah, he's not too bad. He hasn't turned the ball over too much. He has thrown 5 interceptions, so that's actually really good. That's one saving grace is he only has 5 interceptions. And his yards aren't bad at all. It's just Jared Goff is not the quarterback that is going to put the game on his back to win it. He needs everything to go right in order to win it. It's not a leader. That's a game manager. You pay the game manager a lot of money to manage the game. That's what he does. What more did you want from him? To win? Now, he'll win a game here and there. Yeah, don't get me wrong. He'll get to a round in the playoffs, but if you wanted him, if you paid Jared Goff because this was the future of the franchise to win the Super Bowl, well, that was wrong. That was ultimately wrong. Sorry about that. He's not that kind of guy. You had that kind of guy, Matthew Stafford, who had to go do it with another team. Isn't that weird? You had him for a long time. All right, so next game, we have, there you go. There you go. Here we go. They got the best friends going up against each other. We got Titans and we got the Browns. And let's see. Give me the Browns. Give me the Browns in this game. Why? Because the Browns have the better defense. That's why. Not because Shadir is going to play better. He'll play a little better, I think. But nothing because he's just going to come in here in the game and play lights out. And Cam Ward is just struggling with a really, really bad team. So give me the Browns 17-10 over the Titans at home. It's a home game too for them. So yeah, I like give me the Browns 17-10 over the Titans. Steelers, Ravens. Pretty big game here. Both teams are 6-5, are they? 6-6. Oh, both teams are 6-6 in a division game. This is a tough one. But give me the Ravens at home. Give me the Ravens at home. Steelers are just gonna fall because they're not a good team. The defense is good. JJ Watt's hurt. The offense is pretty bad. They really haven't done much outside of the first 3-4 weeks of football. Give me the Ravens after a tough loss last week. Give me the last week they took their loss, or week 11. Let me go see. Ravens. Yeah, Bengals. They lost to the Bengals 32-14 on Thanksgiving. That's right. Joe Burrow's return. Isn't it crazy? Wow, that's crazy. I love football. But yeah, give me the Ravens against the Steelers at home. Colts, Jaguars. Colts are going to bounce back as well. They lost. Yeah, they lost to the Texans in 2017, I believe. So give me the Colts over the Jaguars. Absolutely. That's going to be a big win for the Colts. They definitely need that bounce back win. Commanders, Vikings. I like the Vikings in this one because both teams are bad, but I have no faith in Mariota at all. At all. So give me, I think the Vikings lost a couple players too, though. Let me see something. Vikings recent injuries. Yeah, several key injuries affecting their roster ahead of their game against the Seahawks. No, that's old. I think this is it. There we go. So we have Donovan Jackson is out. JJ McCarthy is out with another concussion. Ain't that something? Oh boy. All right, who didn't practice? Christian Dawson didn't practice. So first of all, coach is wrong. So we're saying week 13 is supposed to be week 14. I apologize. So they won't put the injury report out till Friday. So we'll have to wait. But there are, from last week's, week 13, it was a concussion and what was the other one? Who was out? Donovan Jackson. Yeah, Christian Darisoff with did not practice. Yeah, limited practice Friday of last Friday. So you had a lot of limited practices and questionables and outs. But most of these guys should be back. At least Justin Jefferson did have full practice all week last week. So he should be good for this week as well. It's a bad game. What time is this game at? I don't like this game at all. Commanders, how many points did you score last week? 26, and you lost. Give me the Commanders. Give me Commanders over the Vikings. The Vikings, what did you score last week? 0. Yeah, give me the Commanders over the Vikings. I'll go based off what production was done from the previous week. And obviously, 26-0 is enough for me to not pick the Vikings at all. So yeah, give me the Commanders on the road Sunday. Bengals, Bills. Ooh. So look, we had a good return from Burrow, right? Are we going to get 2 games in a row from Burrow? Bengals are sitting at 4-8. Now, here's what's funny. Can the Bengals actually win out? Yeah, they can. They can. Bills made it to 8-4 successfully after being down, where it looked like they were going to be under 500 for a while, but they picked it back up in 2 games. I just want to see. I actually want to see. Because, like, seriously, if the Bengals lose this game, they're out. It's that simple. They have 9 losses. You cannot make it into the playoffs with 9 losses unless you are leading in your division and you're number 1 in your division with losses. That's the only way it's going to happen. They got a 67 win probability for the Bills. Give me the Bengals on the road. I'll take the Bengals on the road. Yeah, I like the Bengals. Don't know why. There's something in my heart that's just saying, go be wrong. I could be right. I like the underdog in this game. I don't like the. I actually would like to see if the Bills could get upset. And if they do, that means the Cincinnati Bengals are well on their way to pushing the playoff push. Look, if they can win out, let's look at the rest of their roster, shall we? Let's see. They have Buffalo. They have a division game with the Ravens. You understand what I'm telling you? Then it's Miami and Arizona. And then they finish off a division win in Cleveland. Cleveland against Shadir. You understand what I'm telling you? The Bengals can actually make a playoff push. They can. I mean, the only team they have to worry about is the team they already beat once, which was the Baltimore Ravens. See what I'm saying? Baltimore or Cincinnati got to win too. It has to happen. It can't go 1 for 1. So let me go look at Baltimore's record real quick. Let's go look at the Ravens. Now, Ravens are 6-6. Steelers are 6-6. Ravens got to play the Steelers at the end of the season. What if I told you? Ravens got a tougher schedule. Ravens got to play Pittsburgh, right? I got them winning because they're at home. And they got to go play Cincinnati in Cincinnati, okay? They have to win that game to put Cincinnati out. They have to. If not, they'll be alive, but so will Cincinnati. Why? Because Cincinnati plays Cleveland at the end of the year, and they play Pittsburgh. Ravens play Pittsburgh. Ravens have a tougher schedule, and I believe whoever makes it into the playoffs via 1 and 2, because I think the Bills, if Bills or Ravens, will be in the wild card. Our Bengals, Ravens, one of them will be wild card. But I think they will both have the same trajectory. The only difference is Cincinnati cannot lose a game. You understand what I'm telling you? Cincinnati cannot lose a game. So they have to win the second one against the Ravens. The Ravens can lose a game or two, which they can lose to they'll be on the wild card side if that happens. I think if it plays out that way. It's hard to know how things play out because other teams can mess up that trajectory by their wins and losses, so we don't really know. But this is Coach guesstimating on how the playoff berth could end up. And I do have right now, if they win this game against Baltimore, I have them in the playoffs. They have to beat the Bills first. No, they have to beat the Bills first. Sorry about that. They do have to beat the Bills in this game, and then they have to beat the Ravens next week. So they have 2 games that have to win in order to make the playoffs real. So give me the Bengals over the Bills. Bengals over the Bills. Oh, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. Oh, my God. I'm a little nervous about that one. All right, next up we have Dolphins-Jets rematch. Who won the first one? Let's go see. Where you at? New Jersey. Okay, so Miami won 27-21 at home. I think the Jets just win too. It's 3-9, they're 5-7. Give me the Jets at home. I'm gonna rock with Aaron Glenn. I don't like that fool, but let me rock with the Jets in this late season at week 14. I got the Jets. That defense, I think that front four is gonna put a hurting on Tua. I think it'll still be the same type of score, 24-21. Give me the Jets for that one, though. Seahawks, Falcons. It was nice, Falcons, but Seahawks about to put a big hurting on y'all. Give me the Seahawks over the Falcons. Give me the Bucks at home over the Saints. Broncos on the road. I'll take the Broncos over the Raiders. Raiders are just bad. I don't even think Gino. Like, how is it this man flicks off his home team because he's playing bad? They're gonna boo him out of the stadium. Watch. I promise you. Them Raiders fans, they forget. He was on the road losing last week. Okay? Them Raiders fans, they forget. They're gonna give him hell in this stadium when he steps foot. I promise you they will. Because it's horrible, bro. Like I don't even know why he's. Let me look. Maybe they got some reports out about Gino. Let's go see. Nah, I can't. Good. They're rocking with Geno still. So yeah, let me get that's a hell no. I don't want that part. I don't want no part of it. Give me the Broncos on the road to decimate the Raiders. Watch the Raiders make a quarterback switch in this game. Yeah, give me that. Rams Cardinals round 2 fight. They're gonna get punched in the mouth. Let's go Rams. Rams got to get back from that loss they took last week. That ugly loss they took last week. So they're definitely coming for the get back this week. What was that score, Rams? 28-31 to the Panthers. Yeah, Rams are mad, and they're coming back with some fight this week. So, yeah, give me the Rams over the Cardinals. The number 1 team, Chicago Bears. The Bears will play their rival in Week 14. This is going to be a good game because this is a 9-3 Chicago Bears team in first place versus an 8-3-1 Packers team in second place in the same division. Let us see something. How many times have they played already? I think only once. I don't think they played, or they may not have played yet, but I think they played once. I think Green Bay won. And they may not have, meaning this might be the first of many, first of their 2 battles. We'll see. Nope, this is first. This is a big game because it's Green Bay, then it's Cleveland, then it's Green Bay at home. So they're on the road right now. They might lose to Green Bay. They might lose to Green Bay. Let me see. Yeah. Because it's a home game, and I got to stick with my gut in home games. Give me Green Bay at home against Chicago. It's a tough game. It's a tough division game. But give me Green Bay. Regardless of the fact, neither one of these teams are winning both. They're going to split. So I'm saying Green Bay's taking the home game split. They may not. The Bears might beat them on the road, and then Green Bay may beat them later in the next 2 games on the road. So it could also look like that. But I'm going to take Green Bay in this game on the road. I mean, at home. All right, our Sunday night football. This one's going to be a doozy. It's going to be a fun game. We got the 7-5 Texans. They were once 5. No, they were once 3-5. They were once 3-5. And they're now 7-5. That's very good. Going up against the 6-6 Chiefs. Ooh, this is going to be a tough game, guys. Okay. Texans have the number 1 defense. Chiefs offense has been picking up a bit of steam. They still have no run game. So the Colts are going to take the win against the Jaguars. Give me the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs at home on Sunday Night Football. You don't bet against Patrick Mahomes, boy. Can't do it. Can't do it. I was trying to find something to just give me an itch. And it might take my win, but I don't feel it. I think they'll make it look good. I think they'll be up 21-17. And Patrick Mahomes will have the ball and he'll score and put them up. And I don't think the Texans will be able to finish off. So give me the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. And Monday night, that's a good game. You got the Eagles versus the Chargers, who are at home. Another team who I don't think wins very well at SoFi Stadium. So give me the Eagles to beat the Chargers on Monday Night Football. 8-4, and they're both 8-4. So yeah, give me the Eagles in that game. I like that game. I like the Eagles taking that game. All right, let's head on over to the comment section. Morning, morning, morning. How we doing, everybody? How we doing? All right. So who did you pick up? I just picked up Donnie Mitchell and Vikings defense for Week 16 playoffs. Okay. Bet. No. I wouldn't do the Vikings defense. Yeah, no. I wouldn't do the Vikings defense. Is there any other defense out there that's available? Also had to drop Chris Boswell for Chase McClellan. Can't trust the Steelers offer. Yeah, and they don't move the ball enough, so I like that idea. And then with Chase, right? Even if he only has like a 10-point game this week, but it helps you win, he should have a better game, I believe, next week because Mike Evans should be practicing and should be back by next week. So that will absolutely help with Chase McClellan. Let's see, J-Mo versus Cowboys. It's his time. Yeah, but I still got the Cowboys winning that game. I really feel the Detroit Lions are on their. I don't even say it's a decline. I don't think they're going to be bad next year, but right now they're going to make some changes and probably be another 10, maybe 11 win team next year. But right now, for me, there wasn't significant changes that they made in the offseason that made me say they were going to win 13 or even 10 wins. And then by looking at their roster and the teams that they were playing against that were potentially better, it was just hard trying to find 10 wins for this team. So, and look at them now, 7-6, and I do have them losing this game, dropping to 7-7, which will potentially, that leaves what? 2 more games after that. And let's look at Detroit's last. Let's look at how Detroit's going to finish. Let's see if my trajectory is correct. So they got Dallas, they got the Rams, they got Pittsburgh. They got Minnesota, which they'll win. They have that's the game I can't wait for, and that's the game that's going to. So they're what 7-6 now. They'll lose to Dallas. They'll be 7-7. They'll lose to the Rams. They'll be 7-8. They will beat Pittsburgh. My numbers off? What is their record right now? Let me go back and look. I think I might have something wrong. I'm going to make sure I get my numbers right. All right, go back to Detroit. Oh, the 75. I'm sorry. I said that's why my numbers were wrong. Like, what? Okay, so the 7-5. Okay, now I can do it right. All right. 7-5. They'll lose to Dallas. So they'll be 7-6. They'll lose to the Rams. That'll make them 7-7. They'll beat Pittsburgh. Or they could. Oh, they can end up 9-8. Did I have 9-8 on their thing? Let me go look. Let's go see. Detroit. Where you got? There you go. I had them at so they won't be. I had them at 7-10. No, they're going to go over 7-10. So they could go 9-8. They could go 9-8. Lose the 8th game would be them losing to the Chicago Bears. And the only way they would go 8-9 is if they lose to Pittsburgh. Yeah, if they lose to Pittsburgh, that'll make them an 8-9 team. If they beat Pittsburgh, that will make them a 9-8 team. Let's see, going with the Jets. Yeah. It's just that part of the season where you're going to see some differences. Jets, they got like a tiny bit of glimmer of light. They're not letting Eric Glenn go. Obviously, they like his direction. And the matchup isn't too bad. It's not. And I just don't see Miami winning 2 games against the Jets. My other defense is Rams, 49ers, and Falcons. I would go with the Rams over anything. They're playing the Cardinals, too. Like, that's got to be a gimme. Oh, you can only use them for week 16? That sucks. Let's see who's on the waiver. Jets, Chargers, Bengals, Raiders, Cardinals. I would go with the Jets or the Bengals this week. My league is for the defenses for the. They're scared. That's a fear tactic. That's what that is. But I would go with it's a division game. But I would go with no, it's not. It's the Bills. It's the Bills. They're playing the Bills. I have Cincinnati beating the Bills, but I don't know. Josh Allen. What are they saying he's going to get? Let's look at his potential numbers. So fantasy says 24 points for Josh Allen. Really? All right, so let's go check Hard Rock real quick because that's a lot of points. That's a lot of points, bro. All right, let's go check Hard Rock. That means you're telling me Josh Allen's going to have at least 3 touchdowns. Let's go to NFL. Let's look for the Bills game. Bills, Bengals, player props. All right. Passing. All right, so they got Josh Allen at 228. Okay, I can dig that. Let's look at his receivers. Really? That's interesting. Where are all these points coming from, people? Now, how in the world, if they got James Cook for 99 rushing, and they only got one receiver listed for the Bills as Khalil Shakir for 44 yards, right? Where's the 28 coming from? Where's the 24 points in fantasy coming from? Wait. Receptions, right? I'm looking at receptions, right? They don't even have a receiver for the Bills listed. What? I find this kind of weird. All right, so let's go look at the props. Not the props. So look at the game itself. So they have this. Oh, they got this game -5.5. I'm taking they got Cincinnati at +5, and I'm taking Cincinnati winning the game by 6. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. They have the game itself, right? They got the money line -260 +210. Are you serious? Who y'all fooling? So, what this means is I don't think Josh Allen's getting 24 points. I think I'm going to take the Bengals defense. What is the Bengals defense projected to get? They got it for 2.9. But the Bengals defense last week had 3 FR, I don't know what the FRs are. 2 sacks, 1 interception. They get a lot of sacks. They have 17 sacks on the season. The last 2 games, they went from 8 to 11, by the way, defensively. Yeah, I'm going to take the Bengals in this game, plus the 5. So Bengals to win by 6. And I don't know if I'll take the Bengals defense though, and that's because the winning by 6 meaning that they'll get scored on, and you do need a defense that's going to have a little bit. Did I look at that wrong? Vikings are playing the Commanders. Oh, the Vikings. Oh, I see what you're saying. The Vikings are playing the Giants week 16. Okay, I can dig that. So then who are you planning on playing this week? Is the question. I wouldn't do Cincinnati. That game is going to be too close. Yeah, so I would play the Rams if you have the Rams this week. They're playing the Cardinals. I would do the Rams this week. Okay, perfect. Okay, good. That's yeah. That is my choice. Yeah, they're not. The Cardinals ain't gonna do nothing. Cardinals ain't doing the damn thing. They're gonna get rolled over. Those Rams are a little upset after what happened to them last week. And then 49ers next week. Okay, I like that. Let me see who they play next week. Where you at, 49ers? You play the Titans. Good one. That's a good one. Nice. You well on your way. It's the fact that are you in the playoffs, or you need this week to get into the playoffs? Rams on championship week. If I make it. Yep. If you make it championship week, I agree with that as well. They have a great matchup at the end of the year. And the Rams are going to finish strong at the end of the year as well. I am in the playoff. Okay, so you got in at 7-6. Yes. Yes, that is awesome. Awesome. Okay. Cool beans. Very excited. Very happy for you. It's either the Falcons or Vikings week 16. It's going to be the week 16. Yeah, Vikings. They play the Giants. Who the Falcons play? I don't think I would pick the Falcons in week 16. Let me see. They play the Cardinals. Oh, nah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it. That's a game the Cardinals mess around and beat the Falcons 31-27. No, thank you. I don't want that game. I would go with somebody else in week 16. Something about that one with the Falcons that just the Falcons haven't even been playing good football lately. And I don't think I think it's gonna continue that way all the way out. So no, not for me. No way am I touching the Falcons in week 16. I would go with the Eagles over the Giants. I mean the Vikings over the Giants for the defense purposes. All right, so it's my time to hoard defense. I mean, you've been dealing with it all year. You couldn't find no. You got lucky. You got the trade you got because the waiver wire in your league was like ill. Everybody had everybody. What's good? Thank you for tuning in. Not Dallas. Kittle on the bye. Should I pick up Brenton Strange or Zach Ertz? And do I drop Aaron Jones or Chuba? I would drop Aaron Jones. I think Chuba is kind of getting getting back into the field of the offense. Picking up Brenton Strange. Let's go look and see. I was high on him this year. I'm not sure where his height went. I didn't hear his name as much this year. Jacksonville's tight end. It's been a good year. I ain't gonna lie, it's been a good year. He's had he's only had 2 games under 10 points. I mean, 9.9 is 10. You know what I mean? He's been hurt, obviously, from week 6 through 11, so that pretty much hurt. But since he's been back, he's been playing football. His saving grace was last week against Tennessee with a touchdown, so that's good. His targets from here all over the place. 4, 3, 6, 6, 1, 5, 3. Like, needing to be a consistent 5. Because like he gets the touches, but it's like 3 for 17, 1 for 22, 4 for 59. That's pretty good. 3 for 45 could be better. But his average is 9 points. So if you can take the 9 points of Strange with the upside of 17, let's go look at Ertz. See which one. They're about the same. He had a big game against Denver. You know what? He has 4 touchdowns on season. So the thing about Ertz is Terry McLaurin comes back and he has to fight for target shares now between McLaurin and Deebo Samuel. So they're both point-wise about the same. For me, I don't like sharing. That's just how I am. I don't want to share. So if I hear that a player of mine has to share targets with somebody else potentially, that's a red flag for me, and I would personally go with the guy who has no competition for his position and still gets the ball. So I would go with Brenton Strange this week. And drop Aaron Jones. Absolutely. I would definitely drop Aaron Jones. I've never been an Aaron Jones fan anyway, so that was an easy one for me. I saw Chuba break loose, have a good game against the Rams. I liked it. Excuse me. He basically gets to keep a spot on my roster. I ain't seen Aaron Jones do anything all year. I'm honestly surprised he's still on your roster. Ken, my boy, what's good? What's good? Thank you for tuning in. Let's see your thoughts on the squad for the playoffs. It's a 12-man, 3 receiver, 2 running back. This is a Yahoo league. I hate Yahoo. Because I hate running 3 receivers. That's stupid. All right. 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 flex. Dak, okay. Miss top 10. Jonathan Taylor, all right, leading rusher. Kyron, one of the best backs in the league. JSN, good job. A 12-man league. CeeDee Lamb, Sutton, Gatson, Texans D, Myers. Okay. You got Watson on the bench. You got Godwin on the bench. You got Emmanuel Wilson on the bench. You got Corum on the bench. Waller. And you got Reed on IR. Any advice? I see. ESPN, no, sir, we don't use that slander around here. This is no place for ESPN, okay? We only use ESPN for their free intel. That is it. Other than that, we don't listen to ESPN because they're liars, okay? And they want you guys to do things, and then you lose, and then you blame somebody, and it's ESPN's fault because they gave you the information they gave you. They made you listen to their lies, okay? Like when they put certain people at number 1, and they shouldn't be there because they're basing everything off last season. They shouldn't do that, okay? They don't look forward. So we don't use ESPN slander here. We are against ESPN. They are the enemy. You know, one day I do hope I can sit on an ESPN panel and just sit there at the table with all those liars with no paper, no pen, just me, this smile, and this brain, and tell them how all wrong they are with all the advice and analytics that they give out because they're paid to tell you what they're telling you. I don't get paid to tell you nothing. I get paid absolutely $0, so it's just free for me to tell the truth. Okay? ESPN is lies. No, I watch ESPN, but when it comes to their news and reporting, I don't take anything they say with a grain of salt because, again, they are paid to lead a story, to say what they want to say. The only time you want to listen to ESPN is when they come and have a history report, like, you know, this team has been doing this for 12 years and has the record. That's when you want to listen to ESPN. But when they up there talking personal mouth, like coming out their mouth, and, you know, when I watch the game, and don't listen to that fool. Don't listen to that fool. He get paid to say that. Don't do that. He gets paid for that, okay? You can't do that. I don't get paid. My texts are crazy, but truthful. Put it this way. ESPN had y'all believing Jadeveon Clowney was going to be one of the greatest defensive linemen that the NFL has ever seen. Because what did ESPN highlight weeks after weeks after weeks? The fact that in college, as a sophomore, as a junior, he got behind the line of scrimmage against a Big Ten offensive line and hit the running back before he could take a step. That's what ESPN highlighted, right? But then guess what got shoveled down our throat for years after year after year? Oh, he got traded number 1 to the Texans and didn't play a lick of football because he got hurt. Mind you, he didn't play his whole senior year because he didn't want to mess up his draft status by getting hurt. Ain't that something? Then he comes out the second year, plays a few games, doesn't do nothing because he can't play. I had somebody look at me and tell me, but look, Jadeveon Clowney, the only one got the tackle. Okay, so you're telling me that you want me to be impressed by a defensive lineman who is actually on the line. The running back gets ran through him. He gets blocked by one lineman. Pay attention to what I'm telling you. Jadeveon Clowney can get handled by one lineman. Okay, so this running back goes to Jadeveon Clowney's side with one lineman blocking Jadeveon Clowney. He goes and gets past the line of scrimmage, gets the first down, and because Jadeveon Clowney hawked him down, that makes him great. but you had every chance to hit him behind the line of scrimmage, just like you did that running back in college. Personally, I felt like Jadeveon Clowney played the wrong position with his size, his build, and the type of speed that he had. Oh, he should have been playing a defensive tackle. He should have not been playing a linebacker. Tell me one time Jadeveon Clowney as linebacker went up with his hands and tried to get a pick. Yeah, linebackers actually can't do that. Go ask Ray Lewis. Go ask Brian Urlacher. Go ask Brian Brooks. Okay? Go ask the fool I don't even like from the Ravens. I can't. Terrell Suggs, who had multiple interceptions. Okay? So linebackers can get picks. Never had one. Never put his hands up. He played like a lineman, like a middle lineman, tackle, D. Huh? Tell me I'm wrong. You can look at his physique and build, and it was all wrong what they put him in. Who had him at linebacker and thought he could play defensive end was the dumbest thing in the world, and you ruined that guy because you thought you had something, and you didn't let that man play what he should have played. See, that's how ESPN lies to you all, okay? Me, I saw the lies a long time ago. I didn't have to listen to ESPN. I just had to wait for my lie to unfold at the end of his career, and it did. It was a lie. He was horrible. He did not have a good career. He was on the Browns. I watched him at practice when the Browns had first on Hard Knocks, and a coach literally had to tell this grown man to pay attention, stop playing around, to do the drill right. Like, are you serious right now? But this was the guy ESPN highlighted because he hit a running back in a Big Ten team behind a line of scrimmage. He ain't had a line of scrimmage tackle since then. You understand what I'm telling you? So this is why we don't use ESPN slander. It's NFL Network or nothing. I'm sorry. I love ESPN though. I just don't like the lies they spew at times. But back to your original question. My thoughts on the squad for the playoffs is you have a decent squad. You are really good to go. I wouldn't actually change anything. If I had to change something, I would drop Reed and add another defense. If I had to change anything. He's on IR. But it's not like, let me ask you this question. Do you plan on putting Reed back in your lineup anytime he comes back? Or is he going to be on your bench throughout the playoff when he comes back? Because if he's going to be on the bench, and let me go look, by the way. That's something. Because if you can stack another defense just to have, that would be worth more than Reed on your bench. He's falling off to me too anyway. Yeah, he ain't doing that when he come back. He fell off to me. And he'll do something like, when is he's supposed to be back this week? Has yet to be medically cleared to return to the game of action. But the plan is to see where he's at by the end of the week. He's not playing. Yeah, with Reed, I would actually take that back. So with Reed, we have to look at the injury report. If he will be injured for this game, like he won't play this game, but they take him off IR, then you have to keep him. You have to keep him. So it looks like we may have to just ride. Okay, then do that. I would do that. Perfect. Because you answered my question. You just said he's just gonna stay on your bench. So that'll be perfect right there. Is if the Chiefs are available now, go ahead, get rid of Reed, pick up the Chiefs, have you another defense ready to go. I like that. I like that a lot better. Hey, look. At the end of the day, like what Kai say, the day got to end. So if you got trades you need to have and they got people that they need, bye. Thank you. That's all that matters. We're not here to make them happy. If they're desperate, well, that bodes well for you. See, that's their fault making themselves get to the point of desperation in fantasy football. You should never get to that point. You should have had plans. You should have been able to get yourself out of that rut. And sometimes your team is so bad, it's not your fault. They just, injuries. The players didn't do what you expected them to do. Those things are out of your control. And if you can't You can make changes, but the changes you made just, didn't come from anything. And they could be good changes, but they just didn't come from anything. And there's not much you can do about it. But there are people who just sit there and they start their season off auto drafting, right? Then they just kind of just, let the season arrive without doing much work and over jumping for players based on reports, right? And it's just like, where did you get that report from? Where did you read that he is a 9-target receiver? Like, where did you hear that from? Because for 6 weeks now, he's got 3 targets, not catches, not 7 targets and 3 catches. The man's got 3 targets. Like, they don't use him. So what did you get that report from? See, I get all of my reports from reliable sources, and those reliable sources are NFL Network, ESPN, and there are some reliable sources that I do get from Instagram that are sports fanatics that follow the same pattern of resources that I follow, okay? So they can just get a little bit more. And they pay for their more. People pay for their resources. I don't pay yet. I ain't there yet. I got to get mine the freeway. But a lot of that is just by visually watching as well. Understanding, watching, studying. That's all it is. But again, their desperation is your success. I mean, look, as long as, and you got some great players. So I ask you this one question. What team in your league are you actually afraid of? Because you have a scary team. Who is your backup quarterback? Do you have a backup quarterback outside of Dak? And with Dak and with the way Dak, I got them beaten. I got them winning this week against Detroit. I have Dak. I have the Cowboys winning 9-8 this year. So they should be second place in the division. Dak and them should be in the playoffs. Absolutely. And Dak and CD are going to lead them all the way there. With Pickens. Dak, CD, and Pickens are going to lead them all the way. Will they make it far in the playoffs? Doesn't matter to us at this point. We're just trying to win fantasy football games. Let's see. The team in my league I'm afraid of has Christian McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs, and Drake London. Oh, my God. So let me look at something real quick. One of those players you may not have to worry about. Unfortunately, it's my boy, I think. Let me go see. It might not be. He might just be great no matter how bad his team is. So sorry. You got to deal with Drake London. I'm sorry. You got to deal with Drake. So sorry. He's going to ball this week. He's injured. He's questionable. Wait. Okay, the Falcons. Ooh, I don't know, bro. That might be a tough. You actually, that one, I looked at the wrong game. So that might be tough. I might not be worried about Drake London. He's playing against the Seahawks this week. So I might be okay. Yeah, it says Chris Olave. That one might. Let me see. He's playing Tampa Bay. And his last game against Tampa Bay, he only had 8 catches for 63 yards and no touchdowns. So he only had 14 points. I would say he could get the same. So I wouldn't be too worried about Chris Olave. What you need to worry about is making sure if he starts Drake London, you just have to make sure Drake London don't go off. That's the biggest one. Jonathan Taylor should. Christian McCaffrey might go off. Drake London is the one you have to worry about. That's the one. If the Seahawks defense plays very well, you will be just fine. If the Seahawks defense falls, he might drop 25 points. How you doing, Reaper? Drop Jaden Reed for Waller? Absolutely. Jaden Reed ain't doing nothing. He's been out all this time. He's going to come back. And he might not even, it's not looking like he's coming back this week. And if he does, he's a healthy scratch for questionable, and then it's like a game time decision what it may look like. I also have Garrett Wilson, Flowers, Jay Williams, McLaurin, and Diggs as my receivers. My tight end is Goddard. Okay. But yeah, I would drop Jalen Reed for Waller. He's not going to do it. Jaden Reed honestly, he's been a disappointment. I had high hopes for the kid when he came out 2 years ago, and I had him on my roster. He was amazing. And then the last 2 years, he's just been injured a lot. He hasn't done much. So, no, I'd drop him. Not too well. I have Bijan. Well, I'm not worried about Bijan. Bijan will be fine because he gets work in the catching and the passing. So there's another thing you got to look at is, are they both? Because, yeah, if the defense plays well and holds the receiver back, because they also hold Bijan back from going off. So, yeah, you do have to worry about that just a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But let's focus on the fact that Bijan is a running back, and he can also catch in the backfield and in the open field. So he is going to be on the field when always needed. So just as long as when Bijan gets his touches, it's really mostly what he will do with those touches. It's harder for a receiver being double covered by a great defense to really go off, where a running back, because that extra man is taking away to cover so 2 men to cover 1 man. The defense is a little bit lax. The running game is a little bit lax as well. So there's always holes anywhere when you focus, on one part more than the other. And that's just anywhere in sports, to be quite honest. All right, everybody. If there are no more questions and more comments for Coach, again, as always, if you need to speak to me when the show ends or anytime before Sunday, these are Coach's handles where you can reach me. You can reach me on Instagram at Fantasy Football with Coach. You can reach me on TikTok at Coach Coombs _5. You can reach me on X at FFC Coach Coombs. And you can reach me at Twitch on certain days, not today. But that is where I do go and I game Fortnite. So you can talk to me when I play Fortnite, talk football with me while I'm gaming. We got a comment. How's your fantasy? I don't have a league. Coach don't play? Nah. No. Fantasy football is too easy for me. I literally don't do it because if I play, I somehow take the fun out of it because, okay, if I make one team, right, I'm not satisfied because I know that team's going to win. I know I picked all the right players. So now I need a challenge. I want to see if I can win with a team that doesn't look like what I drafted. So now I got to go draft another team. And then that team ends up drafting pretty well. And now, it just goes on and on and on. And I got all these teams and I'm winning. And, not all of them going to win the championship, But then I started joining other people's leagues. And it was more so like I have more fun with you all and your fantasy teams because I get to imprint my thought process on all of you. And that's more fun. That means I can get multiple leagues at one time to win rather than draining my life trying to do it myself. And it's fun to do. Like I got invited from a league from a pizza place that I worked at, and it was fun. And I didn't want to do it, but they wanted me to do it with them. $40 buy-in, nothing big. 14-team league. I won second place. I won second place with 2 running backs. Okay, didn't have a third. I had Tank Dell, who was hurt most of the year. I had Jaden Reed, who was good, but I also had Brian Thomas Jr. Okay, I had a pretty okay roster. I had Kate Otten, who saved me for 3 games out of that season, and I had a decent defense. I won second place. I was in the top 3 pretty much most of the season, dropped to 5, came back up to 4, went to the playoffs. I beat the same person in the playoffs in my first game that I beat in week 1, which was my old restaurant manager. Then I beat him the last week to get him. And then I beat him. We faced each other the first week of the playoffs. And I beat him again. Like, my team, I know how to build. So it's just, it got to a point where I have just more fun doing this. Like, I get to talk fantasy football with anybody that jumps in this chat and just really wants my advice. And the funny part is, not one time have I been told that I gave bad advice. And I don't intend to give bad advice. I intend to give the most unbiased opinion that I can based off of all the information that I've seen, that I've watched, that I've studied from me playing. When I say when this team goes up against, when this player goes up against this type of team, or the fact that this team doesn't win at home on this, but how I knew, and I still went to go look up the numbers just to make sure the numbers track my arrogance, if that makes sense. But I sat here and said, no, give me the Cowboys on Monday Night Football, because the Cowboys own Monday Night Football. And when I went and looked, the Cowboys are, what was it? I still have it. The Cowboys are 51 and 38 all time in Monday Night Football. And I didn't need to look. I'm 41 years old. I've watched a lot of football. I've watched a lot of Monday Night Football. I watched a lot of Cowboys on Monday Night Football. Cowboys win on Monday Night Football. Oh, and here's the thing. The Cowboys are on the road. Cowboys have a better record on the road than they do at home. Isn't that weird? And here's the thing. Same thing. Cowboys at home on Monday Night Football are 22 and 20. Go figure. Cowboys on the road on Monday Night Football are 29 and 18. Wow. And the funny thing is, I knew that I didn't know the numbers, but I knew that information of Monday Night Football and the Cowboys without going to look up those numbers. That is how much football stays. It don't go nowhere. Only time it leaves is when I turn on this camera and I'm sitting here with all of you guys. Other than that, it's all soaked up in here. Sometimes it be driving me crazy because I'm like, I need to talk football with somebody, man. But that's what the show is for you guys, not for me, for you guys. Yeah, it's that time of the season, man. It gets where you're just like, what do I do? You just don't want to lose. But hey, guess what? We're gonna have to. Somebody got to take the L. Somebody got to take it. It could be us. It could be them. We don't want it to be us. We're doing everything in our power to not make it us. Let's see. If I win, I get 100,000. I get 100K. That's what I like to hear, my boy. That's what I like, and that's why we're doing this. I'm trying to win y'all money. I'm trying to win you guys some money. Like I said, I'm dead serious about that. Like, if you come in here telling me in the auction league, I promise you show me the kind of money you spent and what kind of players you want, I will tell you where to put your money. And guess what? I've never played an auction league, but I understand the money of value. I understand where that goes, okay? I understand you don't put $20 on a certain quarterback that's not going to do that kind of money for you. This is bread you're playing with. So I understand where to put your bread, okay? If this is a dynasty league, I've never played a dynasty league before, but I understand player and progress, and I understand value and where that goes when it comes to dynasty leagues, okay? And when it comes to 8-man through 18 PPR, standard, half PPR, custom leagues, it doesn't matter. I am a man of value. For instance, I'm the commissioner of the R2L League. I basically help set the league up and I run the points. I changed the point system because for me, it's all about the work you do, right? Receivers can catch a ball 5 times, right? And only end up with 10 yards. How many points does he have? 6. He's got 1 point for 10 yards, and he's got 5 points for 5 catches. So he didn't do nothing in that game, but you got 6 points just because he caught the ball 5 times for 10 yards. I'm not saying give a running back a carry every time he touches the ball, because sometimes he'll touch the ball 3 times and only get 5 yards. So that's what, 3.5 points is garbage. But it's like you only got to work from the carries. But what I would do, half a carry. Half a carry per carry. Or half a point per carry. So for every carry the running back gets, give him half a point. And I don't like that a quarterback only gets 1 point for 25 yards. Oh, did you get 25 yards? You don't get 1 point for that? Let's double that. I wanted to do a thing where I wanted to give a point to the quarterback for every five completions. Not consecutive, but every time you so for 10 completions, right? You got 2 points, but the system won't let me do that. That's the one, like it's there, but for some reason it's shaded out and it won't let me like adjust it that way. Like that's how you do it. That's how you reward points. You know what I'm saying? Because I like points. I like high scoring games. I ain't gonna lie. But it's just little stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't try to do too much changes because I don't want to change the landscape of the game. But a half a point for a carry for a running back would be perfect. Someone just dropped BTJ. And that is a reason. There's a reason for that. I ain't gonna lie. There's a reason. The reason for that is where you at? Yeah, the reason for that is because he's not used. He is not used in this offense. That is very sad. This player, this league owner at this point has seen too much of no work. And unfortunately, based off the work he did last year and based on what he's doing this year, I would have dropped him. I would have dropped him in week 11, to be quite honest with you. There's no way he would have been on my roster this long. I mean, he started off slow in the first 3 weeks and picked it up, and that's where he would have stayed. And he had 2 good weeks after that. That's where he would have stayed. And he dropped in week 6. I probably wouldn't have started him. Maybe what I would have. I'm not sure. Bye week. Then you come off the bye week and you only give me 8, and then you out week 10, 11, 12. You would have been gone by week 10, 11. I would have been dropped you. If you would have been there, you might just be there when I need to pick you back up, and that's fine. I don't. And that's the thing. You can't not be scared in fantasy football to drop a player. I've dropped players many a times, and I've gone right back to the waiver wire weeks later. Oh, you still there? Come on, because the player I got stuck. Come on. So don't look when people now. If you want to pick, if you have roster room for him, and it's not going to hurt your roster, like you just really got somebody trash to drop for him, do it. Meaning that all that means is the player you're dropping got less points weekly than Brian Thomas Jr. does, right? So it ain't hurting you. You just dropping a weaker player for him. It's worth it. Like I said, if you have the roster spot and there's somebody on your roster that's literally pulling no weight, and this weight alone is feasible, like let's say you pick him up and he goes off this week, right? Ooh, there you go. Now, do you play him the next week? No, but at the same time, you're not playing against him, are you? He's on your bench going off, and you don't need him. You see, you're protecting what you already have with a player because he's not on somebody else's team ruining your life. So I would, if you have the space, yes, I would actually pick him up. All right, guys. So look, that was a great show. We will be back next week. I need to hear about everybody's playoff run, see how you guys did. Again, some of you will have 2 games, so you'll play this week, and then you got to play again next week against the same player, and they don't change the points. So basically, your points will basically culminate together for the actual win after the 2 weeks. And some of you only have 1 week, so this is it. You win and you're in. You win and you lose and you're done. So we will have a big show on Tuesday, recognizing those guys who made it another week into the playoffs. And we will sing some songs of sorrow for those who are going home. But I had a great show with you guys today. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody who tuned in. Thank you everybody who commented. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And on YouTube, please do it on YouTube. Especially if you are a Twitch viewer, please subscribe on YouTube. That is my main platform for FFC. I thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you all next week. Coach is out.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.